Here I have an MJX 14303 rally car. It's I think the Citroen is the body. I'm not too familiar with it. Anyhow, it's a fun car. It's pretty quick, not as fast as a Grom, but it is brushless. It's got a 45 amp rated ESC that can do 3S. It's got a gyro. The transmitter is okay. I don't really have experience with anything better. So what I want to do is take out these electronics and swap them into my brushed granite GROM. So I brought up the diagram here. Looks like I should be able to remove those pretty simply. I also looked into the pinion that uses the same bore as the GROMs, and I have at least one extra 21 or 22 pinion, so I should be able to fit it right up, assuming the motor mounts up the same way and is centralized on the stock motor mounts. I don't have adjustable motor mounts, but I do have the kit from Arrma, so I should be able to try out some other sizes if the first one doesn't fit, like maybe the 22 fits on the 21. We'll find out. That's assuming, of course, everything comes out of here nicely, which it should, but also that it fits into the Granite GROM nicely, which I hope it will, but I'm going to have to take it out to find out. Alright, there we have it. This is the MJX 14303 with the electronics removed. This is the motor, ESC, gyro, transmitter, receiver. Time to make the Granite more fun by installing these parts into it. I'm hoping that this motor mount is the same. Obviously the pinion will change, but that bore should match, so we will see. The next step now will be to tear apart the Granite, remove its electronics, and try to transplant these parts into it. I've removed the motor, and I went to go take off the pinion gear, and the grub screw just stripped right out. They like to use a lot of Loctite, so that's a problem. Now I'm going to try out this method I've seen people recommend a lot online, which is to use a soldering iron. You just press it into the grub screw and let things heat up. It does suck that this motor mount, which I think is plastic, is kind of in the way, so that might melt, but I don't really care too much about that motor mount, so I'll probably try this out. If it doesn't work, then I'll definitely be just grinding it out and getting rid of that grub screw and pinion gear altogether. I can't carry that over to the Granite GROM anyway, so that'll be my next step here, letting this heat up. Go ahead and try to get this grub screw off. If that works, then I should be able to go ahead and get it in the GROM. MJX likes to use a lot of Loctite or thread locker on there, so the grub screw was totally locked in place. I ended up needing to use this soldering iron and some pliers to help persuade it off, and I just basically pressed the tip into the grub screw area and let that heat up, and then just kind of put the needle nose underneath and pry it out, and it worked. I went to remove the motor mount, and these screws also stripped out. They seem to have tons of thread locker on it, so I can't get them out. I actually stripped them super easily. So what I did was snipped off the motor mount with just some clippers. Excuse me, I'm a little sick right now. But I clipped that off and tried to just pry this off, or not pry it, but pinch it with some pliers and then twist it. That's not working, so I'm going to try to file in some slots and then use a flathead to take this off. So I will go ahead and file in these slots and hopefully get these stupid screws out and see about mounting the Arrma GROM motor mount and pinion. Then if that all works, I should be able to get it in the Granite GROM. And here's the motor with the screws removed. You can see they really just soak these things in thread locker. They're really, really bad. But I just, grinded in some slots and took it out unscrewed it with a flathead. This is actually some kind of like shim or washer type thing that was on there. I don't think I'll need that. I am a little concerned about the screws. I didn't really think that through. For the mounting, I'm going to need something with the same thread and length, so I'm going to have to to see what I've got and make sure it actually fits with the Arrma motor mounts. So a little bit of troubleshooting there, but surely I can get past that. I tracked down the pinion and motor mount that I can use in this. This is the 21 tooth out of mild Typhon, I think, and here's a 21 tooth mount, and these mounting holes are definitely too small for the screws that came with the MJX motor here, so I'm going to need to figure out a solution. Basically, got to find whatever screws these are and their length, drill out the holes in the motor mount, then I can get it on there. So this is going to take a bit more work than I was hoping for, but it's still doable. Shouldn't be too hard, shouldn't cost much. Now, where I left off last, I had some issues with the screws here. You can see there's some Phillips heads in there now. These are the old mounting screws. These are 8mm. They work out right with this Arrma mount. The one that was in the MJX was thinner. I did realize that this metal washer thing was to help ensure that the screws didn't run into the motor windings. Anyway, I don't need it because, again, this is thicker. I also went ahead and screwed down the fan on the top end. Putting it on this side didn't work. Mainly, I just can't get it in the chassis, especially once that center block's in place. And I can't rotate this because they seem to have some kind of, what do you call it, a thermal paste in place. So I can't get this thing to budge, so I'm leaving it in place. I did want to just kind of compare the motor that came with the Granite. This is the brushed motor. You can see they're very similar in length. I think the same diameter, but, oop, and they're stuck together. Hold on. I guess that's what magnets do. Alright, so anyhow. So here you can see the mount is installed with the Phillips head M3.5 screws. They're 8mm with the Arrma motor mount and the Typhon pinion, 21 tooth pinion. I went ahead and put thread locker on all the threads for these, so everything is in place nice and snugly. So at this point, if I can get my phone to autofocus ever, that'd be nice. I can get this put in place. I did shave down, there's some little mount here, I just shaved that down. There was like a little resting mount for the original motor, but it got in the way of this one. I think because of, again, the heat sink up top. But yeah, just popping this in place. Looks like a good mesh, sounds like a good mesh to me. Just like the brushless GROMs sound like. So that's going to work there. I have since ordered the mounting plate for a standalone ESC. That's going to go there. I still plan on using the stock servo, so that'll go in place. Put the mount on top. And one thing I didn't realize is Arrma does a good job with keeping their electronics small. This standalone ESC is huge. It doesn't have the gyro in it, doesn't have the transmitter. Those are separate. So I'm gonna have to find places to mount it. I'm thinking, pretty much along here, and then things will go along the top deck. Hopefully it doesn't cause trouble with having to take the thing apart. I'm probably gonna have to use double-sided tape to stick them down, and might have to rip it up every time I need to take that top deck off, so I hope that's not the case. But at this point I'm waiting for the delivery of that servo mount, which will let me get everything else in place. At this point I could probably fire it up and see if this stuff spins, but I know it's gonna run, so I'm not gonna bother with all that extra work for now. I'll just wait until I get the parts. This is the latest progress on my Granite that I've brought the brushless motor over from the MJX RC car. You probably just saw some building in progress stuff of that, and then all of a sudden it's together here. I wanted to show a bit along the way, but I just wasn't feeling very well, so I just continued through to make sure I did a good job with this, and I think it's gonna work. I did a power-up test already, and everything seems to function fine, so let's take a look at what I've done here. So over here you can see I have the servo mounted up. I did need to get the servo mounting bracket thing down there. I added some standoff made out of a couple chunks of Lexan, and that gave me the height so the ESC rests on the center top deck, as they call it. And then and this is affixed with just some 3M double-sided tape. So is the power button, the power switch. That's stuck to the ESC, as is this the receiver, and that has the outputs to the various components. Over here is the motor from the MJX as well, going right into that ESC. So I was able to get oh, and then the gyro. Almost forgot about that. So the gyro, it's in the same orientation as it comes in the MJX. It's in there quite firmly. All this is in pretty firm. I can pick it up by the ESC. So happy with the tape. I think that's going to work just fine. Put the ESC in, put the gyro in the same orientation that it's in the MJX. However, it is forward of the center of the chassis in that car. So hopefully it doesn't act weird, but I think it should work okay. During the power-up testing, when I shook the car, it seemed to correct nicely. And then you can see there's a bunch of wires hanging out here, and these components kind of hang over the battery tray, but you can slip the battery in. You just got to kind of angle it down and slide it in and pop it up to slide it out. On this end is where I have the most clearance issues. So the motor, let me get this out of the way. The motor itself, I had to rotate 90 degrees, so I removed the fan because that wouldn't fit, and I put it on top, which works, except it sticks out on the side and kind of bulges the body outward. So I might look into some way to adjust this fan. I can't move that heatsink, as I probably mentioned. It's got thermal paste on there, so it's pretty much glued onto the body of the motor, and it's just way too much work to move. When I first put the body on, I did find this collided, so I had to clip it. It was even longer. You can see this side. So I've clipped that, and now I can use these releases to release the body. And with that said, I will put the body on here, or try to. Not a fan of the granite. The Mojave and the Typhon are a lot easier to snap in place. There you go. Alright, so that's it. That is a 3S capable brushless granite. I will probably get it out later today, make some videos, at least on 2S. I might try 3S, but yeah, this thing's going to be a beast. It was did a wheelie super easily on carpet, of course, so lots of grip, but I know it's going to be pretty wild, even out on the streets and in the dirt, so should make this a lot more exciting of a vehicle. It was nice on brushless, but this has been a fun project. So I'll get some batteries charged up and take this thing out, put a video together, show you how it runs. Here's a quick video, literally the first run, just kind of rolled it down to the street, but haven't punched it or anything. This is just 2S on 100% with the new motor in it, swapped in from the MJX. Oh yeah. Oh boy. I'll try to get a more proper video and some better lighting, so I'm going to cut this one short. I'm out here this morning with Molly. She's not too happy whining over there, but she'll be okay. Anyway, I'm out here this morning with my Granite. I have put in the brushless motor from that MJX and got everything buttoned up. I've got a 3S fully charged over here. Figured I'd give a quick rundown. This is the, I think it's a 2845 or something. 2845, 3700 kV motor from MJX with their ESC. It's like 60 or 80 amps or something it'll never use, with a gyro and the receiver and the power button from it. So, you know, everything went together pretty smoothly. I did mount the fan, as I mentioned, and I ended up cutting a slot in the body to accommodate for that, so it just kind of sticks out on the side. You'll probably see it once it's put together. Got this corner of the park here to kind of mess around with. So probably be able to get a bit of fun in here. Hopefully I don't break anything, and hopefully Molly has fun playing in the grass. Here we go, the Granite GROM with the 3S brushless motor from MJX. Wheelies. Wow. It wheelies. See if I can get a quick one right in front of the camera. Wow, the turning circle sucks. I'm going to have to listen to that. I don't seem to have a steering grade option on here. Yeah, wow, that was about 25% throttle, maybe 30, and it pulls wheelies. So yeah, wheelies from a roll, lots of power. Oop, tumble, probably not in frame for a lot of this. Sorry. Oh, Molly, sorry, girl. All right, let's go ahead and hit these curves a little bit. On some concrete. Wow, I am not really giving it much throttle here, and it's flying. Oh, that was about 50. This thing is insane. Turns a lot better on the concrete. Wow, that is really cool. So much faster than 2S. I'm surprised. Oh, there we go. See if I can self-right. Wow, that is nuts. Not even my Vortex can do that. Try to get a high-speed pass right across the camera here. Nope, not gonna work. Wow, I can't even give it full throttle. All right, gonna try it out on the concrete here. This does have the gyro at 50%, and it spins out like crazy. I don't know if it's doing much at all. It wants to do a wheelie under acceleration, even on this smooth concrete. Wow, yep, it did a wheelie in place. Let's try for a higher speed run. That was not the RC car making that noise. That was actually looks like a Lexus going by. Interestingly. Well, I wish I had some ramps and cool things to send it off of, but I don't really go too crazy with my cars. This is a bit bold. I wish I did have some kind of jump, but there's a skate park. It's a drive from here, but I wouldn't want to send it off of those. It'd probably break. I'm not crazy like a lot of YouTubers, but you know, this is a fun neighborhood passage. Gonna take around the park here, have some fun. Are you done? You want to go? You want that red ball, don't you? Someone left their ball. Molly, say goodbye. Molly, speak. Yeah, good girl. Say bye-bye. Good girl. Hopefully I can get this run in here. This is a pretty good straight run up here. I'm doing it one-handed, and Molly's probably going to start pulling at me. But, wow, this thing flies when it has the room. Found this pretty good jump here. See if I can line up. Oh, gosh. Oh, that was weak. Zoomed in too much. Molly, I know this isn't fun for you, but it's okay. Nothing wild, but nice to get some elevation change. See if we can get a fast pass by. Nope. Lost control. Excuse the waterfall sound, but as you can see, this thing is clean. So
This body's fitting just fine. This hole doesn't matter since the side of the fan blocks it out. This hole. Yeah, very, very happy with this. It's going to be a fun one. Definitely going to bring this out a lot more than I would have if I left it brushed. All right, 2S. Uh-oh. Alright, that might be all the footage I get here. Hopefully it turned out pretty good. This thing is a lot more insane than I expected. Molly's getting anxious, so I'm going to go ahead and head on home. If you were thinking about putting brushless in your Granite, I'd say go for it. 3S is a lot. It's fun. Maybe go for it if you want something crazy. About 2S would even be good. Brushed, not so great. So, you know, it makes me not really want to go for that new monster truck they just came out with, the Quake or the Gorgon Groms, because those are brushed. You know, they say it doesn't need the power. I guess it doesn't really need it, but, you know, more power, more fun, right? Anyway, that's it for now. Molly, all right, it's goodbye for real, okay? All right.